I'm gonna hide this tape when I'm finished. If none of us make it, at least there'll be some kind of record.
Yeah, it's recording now.
Yeah.
So the the first thing I wanted to discuss was what are we going to call it? Because
I was wondering about that.
I mean, I was thinking because it's on Collected Curious, call it Curious Transmissions or something.
I quite like that.
But
I know.
I feel that the title that we were using on when we were putting stuff up on YouTube is perfectly fine. The Rambling.
Yeah, I got a horrible feeling that the Mark Commode thing that he does is called that.
Oh, is it?
I think so. It's either the Rambling or the Wittering, and I can't remember which one it is.
Oh,
So he does like a podcast thing with Simon Mayo, and I'm sure it's got a very similar title.
I'll track it down.
Yeah, check that out.
We'll work it
But
out.
otherwise, like the Curious
Curious Transmissions or something.
is quite...
Because I mean, I'm going to use that sort of crappy radio crackle and stuff at the start and end of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Try and work from there. But the other thing I wanted to talk about first was, or second was how much I loathe and hate the introductions that people put on YouTube videos. You know how if you follow like a series or something, they always introduce themselves.
Yeah.
They always say what they're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it's also in the description underneath the video, and you follow them anyway. You don't want to hear a summary of what they're about to talk about. You just want to get on with it.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
So
I'll avoid doing that.
I don't want to do that. There is one thing which we have to do, though, and that is state who we are. Because there's some people who don't seem to know which is which.
Yeah, there's a question on here that relates to that. And I think you probably know which question.
I think you come out on that question.
Rain Fox, who's you, the deep voice, or the sexy one? Now then. That's subjective, isn't it?
I'm guessing I'm the deep voice.
Yeah, Helen said that. Helen said
possibly.
Bill's probably the deep one. But that means I'm the sexy one.
You're the sexy voice.
I don't get it. I really do not. I think I sound like a weasel drowning.
But run with it, dude.
Oh, God, Jesus. There's too much pressure now. Pressure to perform. Everything's gone wrong. Insert slide whistle sound.
You got to start changing your delivery, but make it a bit more slick and seductive.
Oh, Jesus, no. I don't understand.
Yeah, it wouldn't really sound right when we're talking about crappy action films if you start to sound like a...
It's okay, because probably Rain Fox is probably a hairy trucker from Iowa anyway. So.
Apologies to Rain Fox. Apologies to Rain Fox. They'll be able to find my address more than yours.
You'll never find me. There's reasons not to give out our names.
Right, so I'm Philip Jackson, also known as Jolly Jack.
Philip Jolly Jack Jackson.
Yeah. I've never put Jolly Jack in the middle there.
No, sound like a wrestler.
Jolly Jack Jackson.
And in the blue corner.
And you are?
Chris Phillips.
That was a prompt to introduce you. Come on,
I know.
Professionals, dude.
Yeah. If they've listened to any of these before, they know that's a complete lie.
So this is the one and only time we will actually introduce ourselves, because the rest
after that,
the rest of the time we're just going to launch into talking about
play
stuff.
Catch up.
Yeah. So we'll do. Oh, crikey! Sounds like fence.
Somebody's getting out.
I'm sorry. It's a stupidly hot day, and I've got the windows wide open, and people are gardening outside. So I apologize.
It sounded like they were opening the door to their coffin. The sun's still out there.
I apologise if we're picking up some
ambient sound effects.
Well, there's not the usual gunfire and sirens that are synonymous with Nuneaton.
Yeah. Well, the bat symbol's not in the sky.
Where did you park your car, by the way?
It's across the road.
All right.
Yeah. Well,
on the other side of the road.
I hope it's still there.
Okay.
Oh no, Adam West. Adam West died.
I'll admit, he wasn't my favourite Batman.
Yeah, but he was still Batman.
He was still Batman. Well, he's the first Batman to croak. Was there one before him in black and white?
Yeah, there was, yeah. There was like some movies in the 40s, I think.
Well, who cares about those?
Simple. That's that covered then. We need to go there.
So yeah, Adam West, the mayor from Family Guy as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
I think that was the main thing he was doing.
He was just being Adam West, wasn't he? Basically, he just made a living out of that.
I wonder if that'd be harder. I wonder how difficult that would be to just make a living being who you are.
Well, someone has to know you are first, Phil, for that to actually have some weight behind it.
But it's not the kind of thing you can turn off. It's not like...
Well, it's like Arnie kind of does it now.
Yeah, but...
Is Arnie. It's like, what do you do? I am me. What I do. And I make little videos about keeping the planet alive and green.
I mean, it seems every video that I see...
I don't like Trump. And everything he stands for.
Seems every time I see him in media at the moment, he's either at the Oktoberfest over in Germany or in a tank.
Oh, yeah? He usually comes up, somebody posts him usually on my Facebook feed talking about political matters and how we should sort of gather together to overthrow the forces of darkness that seem to be rising.
Well, he's got the arm.
Let's do it in a green way. Greenery. When I was the leader of LA. That's what we did. Green things.
I wonder if he actually ever accomplished anything as governor of California.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, he did.
He did?
Yeah, he actually implemented massive amounts of green reforms and made it the only place in the States where any sort of ecological movements have actually become monetarily viable. He made it the leading economy in the States, to the point where it's something like twice the size of the next one down in their list of productive states. Yeah. It's insane.
Well, I knew that
because he actually managed to, instead of going, oh, well, you're not going to be able to do this, you're going to have to do green things, and that's going to cripple your business, he actually made it monetarily positive for companies to do things, with solar power and all that kind of shit. And
I knew that their turnover was so high that...
Yeah, made their economy ridiculously good.
Well, I knew that their turnover was so high that they kind of shrugged off all the threats that Trump was making towards California.
He's actually shit-hot governor.
Why didn't they keep him on it? Is there a...
We didn't sort of brag about it, which was nice. It's like, we don't know, because we're constantly telling you how awesome they are. Unlike Trump, who's constantly telling you how great he is. And clearly not.
I mean, I have always thought that the more time a politician spends in front of a camera is a moment they're not doing their work, their job.
It's kind of that, isn't it?
So every second that they spend in front of a camera is a moment they're not doing what they're being paid to do.
This is all getting very political.
Yeah, we're doing a political thing again. All right.
Do you want to do the first question off the thing?
All right, what was the first question off the thing?
Predatorius? Yeah, something like that. What is your favourite animated film? ? Are there any that inspired you to become cartoonists in the first place? ? That was quite good, actually.
I think the very first animated film I ever went and saw was The Land Before Time. I think that was the first one I ever saw. It's really hard for me to nail down a favourite one because I'm such a huge fan of animation and whatnot. I can pick all sorts of favourites.
I'm not sure myself. Favourite animated film?
Actually, I really have a soft spot for Disney's Atlantis.
Yeah.
Because...
Mignola
well,
and like Lost Civilizations and all that kind of crap.
Yeah, it just had everything that I wanted from an animated film.
Yeah.
I mean, it had Western-style storytelling, but sort of anime-style levels of violence.
Yeah.
Because people actually were dying in that film.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
I mean, there's a bit during that film where the little kid engineer, she closes a bulkhead on the sinking submarine, and she seals about 5 people in this flooding chamber.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens really quickly. And unless you're actually paying attention, you don't sort of realise, oh shit, this little kid just killed a bunch of people. In a Disney film.
There's quite high death count in Disney films when you stand back from them and just go, wow, that guy's dead.
Yeah, it's often
really dead.
It's usually sort of pantomime style though. It's like, ooh, this is the villain. Oh, they've died horribly.
Not in their recent ones, like things like Tarzan and stuff. Like bad guy gets hung in that.
Yeah, and you got that sinister silhouette and stuff.
Yeah, backlit by lightning.
That's
wow.
That's quite a blood curdling one.
When
he's sort of that's quite a blood curdling one where you sort of hear him shriek as he's falling through the canopy and stuff.
At the end.
but
I don't know. I don't know if I have a favourite.
Iron Giant. Iron Giant has to be held up really high as well.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Simply because
I don't know if it's a favourite though. I think there's so many.
well, this is why I said
difficult.
it's hard to find it.
Yeah,
Atlantis and Iron Giant are really up there.
they are ridiculously good.
I mean, Iron Giant, Brad Bird, can't go wrong there.
Yeah,
It was just quality storytelling, and it was one of the few films where early 3D was merged quite well with two-dimensional
it was.
animation.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember like our first day in animation college, and it was like registration day. So once they'd sort of done your details, they didn't really know what to do with you, and they just put Iron Giant on in the cinema, and we just sat and watched it. And literally that bit at the end where he just flies towards the rocket and just goes Superman. Like it was just stone quiet in that
Yeah, it's
room.
like-
It was like you could have heard a pin drop.
It's like, I'm not crying.
There's a room full of people going,
I'm not crying. I'm not crying in a cartoon.
yeah, it's just like, all these people, I'm going to have to spend the next year or so, a couple of years with these people. They're not going to see me cry on the first day. Oh God, Jesus Christ. There's something in my eye. It's like, oh man, this is the best Superman film they've ever made.
I'm trying to I don't think I saw Iron Giant at the cinema.
This wasn't a real cinema, this was like in university.
No, I'm just trying to remember when I first saw Iron Giant.
And it was probably on VHS
I think I had it on VHS as well.
back in the day. They were like big tapes, if you know what a tape is. For our younger audience.
Can you remember? Oh, I swear, I wish I'd hung onto my Disney cassettes.
Yeah.
Because they are worth a fucking ton now.
Are they?
Yeah,
I've
they're
got-
worth a
I've
bomb.
Got a few, I think.
I
Still have
had a whole heap of them, like Lion King and stuff like that. And I just,
Oh yeah, I think
I got rid of them.
Really? I think
Yeah.
I've got a load in my house.
I mean, there was actually a bunch of, at the very tail end of it, when VHS was just dead and buried.
Yeah.
I just binned all heap of stuff.
Oh man, I got piles of them. I just don't know what to do with them. I keep meaning to get rid of them and don't. I've got piles of stuff. I think I've got all my old VHS tapes.
I mean, there was a bunch of stuff I used to record off the telly as well.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I never had any like bought VHS stuff. It was always stuff that I recorded off the telly.
Yeah, I had thousands of those. Absolutely thousands of them. With the stickers written over about 200 times, like crossed out, and then the next thing.
I was
like, taped over it.
I was organised. I was a nerd. I used to number them, and I'd have a little. I'd have a little book where I'd change in the book rather than on the label.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nerd.
Yeah. Even amongst other nerds, that is nerdy.
I'm organised.
You're a dork. Get out of here.
But I think
You're making us all look uncool.
I think my mum still has a bunch of VHS tapes which we recorded in the 80s off the telly over in Australia.
Wow.
So they got a bunch of 1980s Australian adverts littered in them.
Nuts.
I know, it's
That's
mental.
really cool. You should like rip them all onto YouTube.
Well, I mean, you think any old advert like that, I should look back and think, oh God, member berries.
A little line going through it.
I think more video games need to have that sort of VHS quality
Yeah.
overlaid on
Really
them.
quite lovely. Yeah.
'Cause it
A little bit of an RGB shift. And
I mean, it worked
the
so
sound
well.
occasionally roars out like that.
It worked so well in Blood Dragon.
Yeah, it does. So, oh man, that game is absolutely amazing.
The only good Ubisoft game.
Yeah, it was supposed to.
And they made it as a joke.
So I don't know if I've got a favourite animated film. There's loads that I like. I have tons. Akira's really good. Like, yeah.
I've recently gone back to
great.
Akira and looked at bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
You see, I've kind of had a falling out with Japanese anime in general.
Yeah, I only have a few, because, like, Japanese anime is great, but there's a hell of a lot of shit.
Well, I mean,
There's like a handful of things you really want to see, and
Recent
then
stuff
most
is
of it you
quite
can probably
garbage.
just bin.
Recent stuff is quite garbage because it feels mass produced.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you look at stuff that's from earlier on, and you can see, yeah, they've really taken the time and done each frame. There's no corner cutting or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
totally.
And occasionally you'll stumble across a series or something which has it's very pretty, but I mean, where it always falls down is the writing, the narrative. And I can never tell if it's just because something's being lost in translation or if the Japanese just can't tell a goddamn story to save their lives. This is why stuff like... did you ever see the Avatar series on Nickelodeon?
No.
Because that was quality animation. I think it was done in Korea. I think the animation was done in Korea.
Well.
But it was Western writing.
Oh, yeah.
So you had this sort of Western-style writing alongside the Eastern visuals.
Yeah.
And it was just a perfect match. And it was really good.
Yeah. No, I remember everyone going mental for it. I just never saw it.
Well, the same animation studio has done the reboot of Voltron on Netflix, which is really pretty but doesn't have very good writing.
Are there any that inspired you to be cartoonist in the first place?
No movies. No, there weren't any movies that sort of inspired me to do stuff. It was TV series. I mean, I grew up watching stuff like Disney, and I distinctly remember recording something off. I think it was Rescue Rangers, actually.
No, yeah.
Recording some of that, and then pausing it on the VHS, or trying to get it to a point where you could pause it without the screen flicker.
Yeah, yeah.
And then putting a piece of paper over the TV and tracing some of the characters.
Wow. Okay.
And then being told off by my mum that I shouldn't do that because you'll knack up the cassette.
Oh, yeah. I never. I don't think I ever drew anything like that.
So I mean, I didn't know it at the time, but I was watching Japanese anime as a kid. Stuff like Astro Boy and the original Voltron.
Oh, right, yeah.
Those were both anime. And of course,
I got raised on stuff like Cities of Gold and things like that.
That was an anime?
Yeah,
that
it was.
Japanese?
Well, it was that weird period of where the French and the Japanese sort of worked together to make...
Was that a combined effort, though?
Yeah. That, along with Dog Tanya and the Muskehounds.
That one I never...
That was also...
That one I never seemed to get. Well, I don't remember ever getting that one out in Australia.
No.
I mean,
I remember watching it all the time, but I can only basically remember the intro. I think the intro is like half the show.
Well, I mean,
because I have a box set of it now, and the intro is epic, goes on for ages, and then the show's like 5 minutes long.
that is the hallmark of Japanese
it's
cartoons
like a
and stuff.
10-minute.
They'll do this
like
exquisite
a sequence. Song.
They'll do this exquisite sequence of something,
Yeah.
and then they will use it in every single episode. Usually, it's like a transformation sequence, or where the heroes combine to form a giant robot or something like that, which they just spend all of the budget on.
Oh, like Thundercats had this amazing intro, and any animation in the show was just shit.
Oh, God.
Absolutely appalling. But the opening was incredible. It's the only thing you can remember. It's the only thing you can remember from that.
Yeah, I was trying to think about what...
The cats are around the loose.
Yeah, I was trying to think about what was my favourite cartoon as a kid.
Probably Thundercats and He-Man. They're the two things I can remember.
I remember watching
playing He-Man in the schoolyard when I was a kid.
But you see, I never had any of the toys because I was dirt poor as a kid, so I never had any
I
of the
didn't
toys.
really either.
But I remember watching these, but I don't remember a huge amount about them. However, DuckTales.
Woohoo!
I remember an awful lot about DuckTales. So, I mean, despite the fact that I remember being obsessed with stuff like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I don't actually remember a lot about the cartoons, but DuckTales, I remember a lot about the cartoon.
I love Turtles. That was like the first cartoon I really, really went nuts for.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a global phenomenon. Everyone got caught up in that fad if you were of a particular
Ghostbusters. The original.
You see, I like
the real Ghostbusters.
It was the movie. As far as Ghostbusters was concerned, it was the movie that I liked.
I can't remember what I saw first. I literally can't remember what I saw first.
I'm fairly sure it was the movie for me.
I probably saw
which means my parents were really irresponsible.
No, that's a PG.
No,
but it was a PG.
Yeah, but you watch it now and you
But yours is a PG.
yeah. This is the 80s. The 80s were hardcore.
It really were. There's no drug taking or sex in it, so it's fine. But people get bitten in half. Yeah, but there's no like boobs or drugs.
Plus, Jaws has like one of the best jump scares of all time. When you
the head.
Yeah, the body comes. Oh yeah, it's just a head, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that's all that's left.
It's all done with that amazing bit of music that just sort of builds up the whole way.
Gets me every time. I know it's coming. I know it's coming.
Still like,
I still just involuntarily shoot myself in the nose. So yeah, it was the Ghostbusters movie for me. I remember watching the cartoon again, but I don't remember a huge amount about it. So I have to say it was DuckTales, which was my main cartoon as a kid.
No.
It probably had a lot of influence on what I... Well, Disney obviously had a lot of influence to me if you look at the style and stuff they use.
Yeah, that's right. They did a lot of bucks and women.
That's not what I meant.
They were renowned for their pin-ups and girly cartoons.
Well, I mean, if you really sort of look at my work, I've always felt that it has more.
No, I know. I'm yanking you, Trey.
Yeah, I know that. But if you actually look at my work, I feel it has more in tune with like either French or American cartoons,
Well, definitely a French.
rather than just in the type of line work and stuff. Because I'm kind of scratchy with my line work and stuff. Whereas the Japanese animes and stuff, they're just really slick and straight.
Yeah, there's a lot of anime influence in your work as well. Though.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's not there. Yeah. It's just if you really sort of look at my work, you can probably see more French American style in it rather than Japanese. Obviously the eyes and stuff. Yeah, that's just proper anime.
Yeah, giant eyes, no nose.
Can't deny it. Yeah, well, there's no nose because I can never draw a nose fucking right. Well, no, I tell a lie. I can draw a good nose, but it's never the kind of face that I'm sort of looking for.
No, I don't think.
I think it was Adam Hughes.
West.
No, Adam Hughes. I was reading something that he'd written about faces and stuff, and he said that he always tries to put as little detail on the faces as possible.
Yeah.
He tries to build it like he draws exquisite hair.
Yeah.
And he draws exquisite costumes and stuff, but he tries to put as little line work on the face as possible.
Yeah. Yes, it's really important.
I can't remember his
It's really
reasoning.
important with female characters because, like, you put any lines on, you just get age. It just looks old.
Well, I mean, I really like drawing grizzled characters.
Oh yeah,
but if you're trying to draw a character that's supposed to be a great beauty or something like that, less is more.
Yeah, true.
I guess it comes down to like the viewer or the reader filling in the blanks.
Yeah, totally.
Again,
I think so. Yeah, most certainly.
What are you doing with the sort of lines, the single line for the nose? That's just like a cue card.
Yeah.
You're just sort of
hinting at it. Yeah. It's just
like there is a nose here.
There is a nose.
There's a nose.
There's some in there that they breathe through.
What does it look like? You work it out for yourself. Draw your own.
Just start printing out like dot books and draw it yourself. Shine the dot.
Oh, that's a genius idea. I could do that.
No.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea. A Jolly Jack dot to dot book. Oh God, that's going to sell. Oh, I've got to get that done for the next convention. I'll just get a bunch of my smutty drawings and then
yeah, it really would work.
Dots.
There's probably a program you can get that'll do it for you. There's all that mindfulness malarkey about, isn't there?
Or the adult colouring in books.
Those will sell. It'll sell. What we need is another revenue stream.
I mean, I've got a bunch of harebrained schemes. I wanted to do a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah.
Not a smutty one. No, I wanted to do a sort of choose your own adventure book in the style of the old choose your own adventure.
Yeah, I know.
Because, well, I mean, if you actually look at those, they're kind of like pulp adventures for kids and stuff.
Yeah. I've got some.
They're not really high fiction or anything like that.
Not really.
But they're fun.
Yeah.
And I'm just sort of thinking that could be another thing to take along to the conventions and whatnot. Especially if you sort of make them look retro.
Oh yeah, also sort of like dog-eared.
Yeah, because then you'll get
a really cool sort of
You'll get people like us who just sort of remember that period and think, oh yeah, I remember them.
Can exploit some nostalgia nerds.